like where it's sort of
Early
localized.
this morning, a package exploded in a distribution facility here in Schertz. An employee who reported an injury was evaluated on site and then released. At this time, however, the scene and area are secured and the investigation is continuing. The safety of the employees and the public has been, is, and remains our principal focus. Pertinent to the focus on public safety, the City of Schertz is engaged and is working in cooperation with the FBI and the ATF. Here with me this morning are my Chief of Police, Michael Hansen, Assistant Special Agent in Charge, James Smith from the FBI, and Assistant Special Agent in Charge, Frank Ortega from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. At this time, I'd like to recognize our Chief of Police, Michael Hansen, who will provide you with some additional information. Chief?
Good morning. At approximately 12:25 this morning, an explosion was called in to the police department. It occurred at the facility at 9935 Dewar Lane. Members of the Schertz Police, Fire, and EMS responded and determined that, in fact, an explosion had occurred. Shortly thereafter, members of the San Antonio Police Department Bomb Unit, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, and the FBI arrived as well. A package had been traveling along the automated conveyor when it had exploded. One employee that was standing near the explosion later complained of ringing in the ears. She was treated and released. We were very fortunate that there were no injuries. It's very early in the investigation, obviously, but we're confident that neither this facility nor any location in the Schertz area was a target. With that said, I need to reiterate the message that we've heard so often recently, that if you have a package that was not expected, if you are suspicious of the return address, if you come across any suspicious object, do not touch it, do not move it, but contact 911. Wish to take this opportunity to thank the assistance provided by the FBI, the BATF, Texas Department of Public Safety, the San Antonio Police Department, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, as well as the resources that have been provided by the Southwest Texas Regional Advisory Council and the BCFS Emergency Management. Now I'll open it for questions.
Did the package come from the FedEx store on Brody Lane? The FBI and the ATF are there right now in Austin. Did the package just come from there?
Well, we currently can't go into the details of the package. It's still under investigation. We just arrived pretty much, and we're entering the building as we speak.
The package was supposedly from Austin. Was it the label?
I can't say what the package was destined for, but again, we're still under investigation.
Can this be the work of a copycat, just because it was sent directly into something like this?
Well, that's what we're working on right now. We're trying to understand what actually happened. We're trying to surf through the evidence and let the evidence take us to where we need to go.
So right now, do you guys think that the package contained nails and shrapnel?
Again, we're still looking into it. We're still early on. It happened late last night, and we arrived early in the morning, so we're still working on it.
Do you suspect this is connected to the serial bomber in Austin?
We do not know at this point right now.
Can you confirm that it has nails and shrapnel?
I'm sorry?
Can you confirm that the package had nails and shrapnel?
No, I cannot confirm that right now.
Can you compare the two packages, the one that exploded here compared to the...
We can't compare them right now because, again, we just entered the building just recently. We had to make sure the building was safe before we could go in. So we're still at the early stages.
Can you tell us the size of the package?
Someone here in Schertz. The chief just said that.
We can't confirm that right now. Again, we've just entered the building.
He just said that it wasn't targeted for anyone here.
We just entered the building? We're trying to understand that right now. But right now, we have no indications that there's any issues or threats to the public here in Schertz.
Can you tell us the size of the package and if there's any evidence left for you to actually gather?
I can't go into the details of that right now.
Is there anything new you can add?
It's still an ongoing investigation, and we can't provide that information at this time.
Are there employees in the facility still?
kept there, or they've been released?
All the precautions have been taken, necessary precautions that have been taken, and right now investigators are conducting their investigation.
How long will deliveries be disrupted for in terms of as your investigation continues? Will it be for a day? Will it be
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
How long will your deliveries be disrupted for?
Well, we're working with the various delivery companies right now with the ongoing investigation. They have their security procedures and protocols, so they're doing the normal steps with the security and protocols, but we are working with them on the regular packages throughout the day.
Can you describe
is this FedEx facility offline right now? Is this FedEx facility operating in any way, or do people have to wait for their packages to come in?
Again, we're working with a delivery company right now about the packages that are in there. Again, we just we just entered the building, so the building has been evacuated, and we are ensuring that it is safe to go forward.
Sir, what can you tell us? Can you tell people who may be concerned that it may be connected and they're genuinely scared? We go from East Austin to Southwest Austin to now north of San Antonio. What can you tell people to keep them from panicking?
This is a very fluid investigation, and we want the general public to know that their safety is our number one priority. So we encourage anybody in the public that has information to call our tip line, 512-472-TIPS. If they have any information, all leads will be pursued and investigated. Again, public safety is our number one priority.
And I understand, hang on, sir, I understand you've said that before, but you have 500 federal agents here in Central and South Texas, and this has still happened. How can you calm people's fears? You have more than 500 federal agents. The ATF is telling our investigative unit this is the ATF's top priority, but another explosion has happened. What can you do to calm people's fears?
We have agents from across the country. We have our national response team here. We got explosive detection canines here. We have intel research specialists. We're working hand in hand with our FBI partners, state and local partners. We've been working round the clock. Again, the public safety is our number one priority, and we're providing all the resources that we can to finally find the person or individuals responsible for this.
Are you confident you'll be able to pull the name that was on the package?
Again, we can't go into that right now. We're still trying to surf through the evidence. So we're still at the early stages of this particular event here, as part of the investigation.
When did you have evidence thanks to this package and maybe some surveillance video? What kind of evidence do you have now that you didn't have?
We can't go into the evidence that we do have, but again, we've just approached this building. I mean, we're only 3 or 4 hours into this. First, the priority was to render this building safe, so the agents can go in and conduct an investigation and gather the evidence. So we are still we're going to be here for a little while.
Were there any other packages found while y'all were looking through the facility?
I'm sorry?
Anything else while you're looking through the facility?
We have not actually done a search yet.
What about the one at the facility, FedEx facility in Austin by the airport? Is that connected at all? Do we know yet?
I'm unaware of that, what happened over there.
Well, there's agents there too. So there's agents at this, you guys are here, and then there's agents also at FedEx facilities back in Austin. Why are you guys there? Do you know why you guys are there?
No, I don't know personally why we're there.
What happens to all the packages here now? People are asking what do they do if they want to pick up the packages here or if they've got something coming from here?
Well, we're asking people not to come here right now because we're still a crime scene. We're still searching
One more question.
We're still searching the packages and all to ensure that there is no other devices there. So we're asking people just be patient, and if they know of something, definitely call your local FBI, your local ATF, or your local police department and report it. We need the public's help right now.
What's the plan for FedEx employees? Those that were evacuated this morning, those who may have to report to work, what's the plan?
You'd have to contact FedEx on that one.
What kind of damage did you guys see inside?
Again, like I said earlier, we just don't know right now. Okay, what's going on?
What do you know? Because you've given us a whole bunch of we don't know. So what can you tell us?
We can tell you that the public safety is our number one priority, and we're following all leads that we receive, and that's why we encourage the general public to help us out and provide any information that they may have by, again, calling our tip line. One last question, please. One at a time, please. This is an ongoing investigation. I can't get into the details of that right now.
It was reported that it went from one conveyor belt to another.
No, I can't confirm that at all right now. I cannot confirm. Thank you. Have a good day.
What are y'all's names? Can we get y'all's names again? Can we get y'all's names? What were their names again?
I'll go over the names and their spelling. Just keep in mind that this is a very fluid situation, and there are a lot of questions that were addressed. And based on the magnitude of this investigation, we're looking at all of our resources, and we're encouraging that the public provide any information, provide videos and any other information pertaining to this or any other suspected package. At this point, I will go over the names again. There is not a scheduled press event for today. If there's any other information that will be put out, it'll be put out through the respective social media accounts.
With all due respect, with these other incidents in Austin, we've been able to hear pretty detailed afterwards how the package detonated, whether somebody handled it or the tripwire. I mean, to not even know, was it the conveyor belt that agitated something? Did the employee handle it? We have to know something.
Due to the early stages of this investigation in this particular facility, we're working hand in hand to collect all the information and put together a timeline. And that information will be relayed through the social media accounts of the different departments.
Is the delay because it happened in this facility, that it wasn't out in the open in other areas? Is it delayed because it happened within a package facility?
Okay, so all the other questions will be addressed at a later time when the information is received. Regarding the Spanish, any questions that need to be addressed in Spanish?
Yes.
Sí, por favor. Gracias, Cristina, por ayudarnos. Gracias. Cristina, nada más.
Okay, para los medios en español, mi nombre es Cristina Garza.
Okay, so we got a little bit of information about this latest bomb, this fifth bomb at this FedEx facility in Schertz, Texas. What we heard from authorities is that it was on a conveyor belt. It was moving along when it exploded, and at least one person had sort of ringing in the ears. They weren't able to give us much more information after that.
You can hear the frustration from reporters because when it's come to the Austin police, Austin law enforcement, where the 4 other packages and bombs went off, the Austin police and federal agents have been a little bit more forthcoming with the information.
Right.
It's understandable. Look, you know, we have no idea what they know. They're saying that they just arrived on the scene, but they've been there for several hours now, and you know, it's frustrating for the public. It's certainly frustrating for reporters, but we can certainly understand that the FBI and the ATF and the other law enforcement officials have a job to do, and they want to focus on that job, and that's what they sort of kept reiterating. Our Omar Villafranca is on the ground. He's been reporting on this since the very first explosion last week, and what he told us earlier is that, and that's what I think that was Omar's voice, and one of the questions was what can those law enforcement officials tell the public to keep them calm. And that's what he's been reporting, that people are on edge. And we're not talking about a small community here. There are millions of people that are being affected by this.